We are literally and figuratively living on borrowed time. I was just looking at the Zero Hedge article that shows 9 charts of Obama's recovery, and it's just stunning that ever since Obama's gotten into office, the amount of debt that's gone up, both in student loans and money printing, federal debt, but also the real social ramifications of that debt in terms of food stamps because of unemployment's going up. People being kicked out of the workforce. That's what caused silver to jump yesterday. They were expecting some sort of fake numbers that would show that the economy is still growing, and it was clearly the opposite. But they're all fake numbers. The economy's been gutted for years, and the fact that they can't even cover it up with their fake numbers anymore shows you that we're getting close to the end. And I'm really feeling like this summer is going to be the last summer that we're going to be able to, make your move. What are you planning on doing for the rest of your life in terms of, economy and job and wealth and stuff like that. And when you look at the food stamps rising, the healthcare costs, especially next year when the Obamacare really kicks in after he leaves office, they're going to skyrocket. Premiums are scheduled to rise in some places 30-40% after prior years of double-digit increase before. The labor participation rates at stunningly generational lows and will only get worse as there's greater wealth disparity, as the economy does finally turn from the Great Recession to the Second Great Depression. You'll see that even collapse even further. And with these oligarchs, there's just a wealth disparity that's it's cutting out the middle class. And I'm positive that when the next bottom does hit in the depression, it won't come back like it was before, because now these oligarchs with AI and technology simply don't need the labor that most people have, and the people that do have labor don't have good work ethic or can't problem solve or lack basic skills to be self-employed, much less be an employee. Watching all these fast food workers protesting for $15 an hour, and they're going to be replaced by robots forever. And then what? And I'm not even so sure that the government's going to be able to continue these social programs, because they're going to be broke. The dollar will be broke, and it's just a very bleak period. And yet we have this summer here where things are still popping along as it is. And it's my contention that this could be the last chance that you get your wealth out of the system, so you avoid being fleeced in the next collapse. Get it into real tangible wealth. I have been working diligently on that. I am a firm believer silver is going to be the best performing asset in real terms and real purchasing power versus all other assets, versus gold, versus mining stocks, versus housing, versus the Dow Jones, versus bonds, versus cash. Silver will outperform all of it because it is the most abused, most undervalued, least understood asset class out there. And when this all unravels, it all plays into the hands of silver. So whether this starts popping this summer, or what I contend, probably most likely in this fall, if you're in the stock market, God help you. If you have money in the bank, God help you. You are a creditor of last resort when the banks go bad. You're an unsecured creditor. That's what you are when you put your money in your bank. You actually give it to them. It's their money, and they owe you it back. But you're the lowest level of holder if the banks do go bad. And so the key is to get your wealth out of the system. For some, like me, I sold my house. Shorted housing in 2005 and rented for a couple of years until the housing bottom, or at least started to in 2009. And I'm in the exact same position again. I'm selling my house yet again, even though the economy is nowhere near, the housing bubble is nowhere near as frothy. Housing in general is still tremendously overvalued. It's a massive misallocation of wealth. Too many people have too much house for themselves, and when the next collapse happens, you're going to see generational housing and a lot of empty homes, and simply because there's just too many homes out there for what we have, and way too expensive. I just saw that the median average new home price is $330,000. Yeah, $321,000, and at the peak of the 2008 housing bubble, which actually happened in around 2007, the highest median sales price for new houses was $250,000. So, and home ownership is declining, and yet the homes that are selling are very high line homes, as those that are, still frothing up on this and not getting gutted are buying bigger and bigger homes, while as the average person who cannot afford a home are going into rentals and shacking up with family and with all the millennials and stuff like that. So I'm working as if this summer is going to be the last summer that you can actually make a move, because after the collapse happens, obviously silver will not be as cheap as it is. You don't know if you're going to have a job or where you're housing and stuff. Everything goes under there because this is a systemic collapse that we're living under. And once that happens, it's like where you are that day, that's it. Because afterwards, it's a very harsh reality, because everything becomes more difficult. Because there's going to be far less liquidity in the market, and overall gloom and doom in the market. God forbid if we have any major wars or anything else like that. But there will be very little opportunity to, make advances or make changes. So, once again, I feel like I've been doing this for years and telling people the same story for years. But, either you're ready today or you're not. You can't time this because it's so large and systemic, and they can kick the can down the road. But at some point, it just stops, and then that's it. So you don't get the benefit of knowing when it happens. All you can do is work towards what you can do today. So this summer, I planned with the Golden State Mint and my global dealer network, I got a couple of them all around the world, to have the lowest Silver Shield premiums on any of the silver that we've ever offered. So like this, starting today, I'm recording this Sunday, but starting on June 6th, we're going to have the 2016 Don't Tread on Me Snake, which I feel is the best looking. There's other ones out there. I'm not the most original design out there, but it's definitely, I feel, the best sculpt of any of the Don't Tread on Me's out there. And I've seen it as low as $199 over spot. So for those of you that are buying eagles and maple leafs, these hundreds of millions of strikes, I think that they're just generic. I mean, they're just the most basic thing out there. I mean, even more so than the actual bullion out there. But these Silver Shield BUs, they sell comparative to the bigger government mints. So if you want Queen Elizabeth or the United States Treasury, give them money, go ahead and go buy their stuff. But if you're looking for, an individual, solution and obviously a design that resonates more with the individualist, like the Don't Tread on Me Snake, it's right at the same price as that. So, but later on down the road, if you look on eBay, because the mintages are so small, I mean, we do, tens of thousands versus, tens of millions. They tend to have a higher collectability value and perform far better than even if you bought, an Eagle or something like that. And they also have better resale later on down the road and stuff like that. So, but every 10 weeks we're going to be doing these pre-sales with the dealers. So June 6th through the 10th, we're doing the pre-sale for the Don't Tread on Me Snake, and many of the dealers have them in stock, so it's not even like you have to wait for them. You could probably just buy them right out of their inventory, but the dealers are going to be able to replenish at these lower prices. But every 10 weeks, for the next 10 weeks, we're going to offer a new pre-sale on each of the other BU strikes that we have out there. And hopefully that'll give the opportunity for people to stack more silver for less. For those of you who, like myself, have gotten beyond stacking as much as you can at the lowest price, I learned that I missed a huge opportunity for many years in this semi-numismatic territory, where you buy these strikes at the new prices, and they're very limited strikes, and they rise much faster in collectability value. I've seen a couple of them go for hundreds of dollars that were only sold for $35 only a year ago. I can give examples of We Indoctrinate You, the Slave Queen, Hitlery. We've had a couple of them that have just tripled and gone up 4 or 5 times in value in a very short time period, simply because they're a very limited production. But I've been doing that, focused only on that, because I find that it's the best bang for my investment into silver. What I've been doing is just with the Silver Shield group. It's this tiny group, 600 people or so. And we release these new micro mintage strikes. We've been up to 3 times a week releasing newer ones. So every week it allows you to diversify, buy very limited stuff, but be able to plow a lot of money into these things and build up a great, I think, portfolio, if you want to call it that. That has been outperforming, just about everything, even the stock market and stuff like that, because they're a very limited amount. I mean, you buy, a strike that's only been made 400 or 500 times, and it's part of a greater series and a growing, awareness in there. Of course, it's got to go up. I mean, there's just people that buy it are stacking it, and there's very few of them that make it out into the secondary market on eBay. But over time, they just grow and grow. And those that do make it out to the market usually go into stronger hands. We've developed a unicorn look out there, where there's some out there that have been bought at one price, but now you can't get them for anything because the guys that have them aren't giving them up. So that's what the Silver Shield Group. I've opened and closed it on a quarterly basis. So we're going to be opening it up this week, June 6th through the 10th. And that's pretty much going to be it for the summer as we release the next slew of micro mintages. I'm also going to have a flash sale for those that are joining the Silver Shield Group on a bunch of the other older releases. So if you kind of come in later, and we're halfway through the year, I've come in later through the year, I have some extras that I'll be offering only for the Silver Shield Group. And it'll give you an opportunity to catch up on a couple of those and see what this is all about. But one way or the other, folks, whatever you're doing, whatever your game plan is, whether you're stacking bullion, the government silver, the my BU silver, or these micro mintages, so long as you're out of the paper Ponzi scheme, you're going to be fine. You're going to be lightning years ahead of everybody else out there. I try to tell people, if there is only 1 billion ounces in the world, that's less than 1/10 of an ounce of silver per person. So you think about all your neighbors and stuff and wonder if they even own one silver coin. And the sad fact is that the majority of what people do own in physical silver is probably in their teeth, and it's mercury laced, and you're not going to get much for it. And that's the sad fact of it. Yet everybody else in the whole world, is the first time we've had a global, generational, fiat, debt-based Ponzi scheme that has infected the entire world. The unwinding of it and the ruptures that come from it cannot be pretty. And I am a firm believer that you need to have real friends, real skills, and real wealth to make it through there. And to me, I think silver is the easiest thing you can be doing, because working on yourself and learning new skills is a longer, deeper process, especially if you've been indoctrinated into following orders and doing what you're told. The next way, and the only way, is to find out what you have and find out what's good for you. And release whatever gifts and talents that you have inside of you, and no one's going to point that to you, because they'd much rather have you working weak for them than having a strong individual who doesn't need them. So this is it. Keep working. I'll be back next week to show what the next BU strike that we're going to be offering through our global dealer network. All right, thank you. Bye.